Hello बच्चों, बिंदु चौधरी is with you in your social science class. Today we are covering our chapter 8 part 5th question answer session. Yes, women, caste and reform. We already studied our chapter reading session, and in that one we studied about the conditions of women, especially widows, especially the education of the girls, and in that one we already studied about the casteism and how the reformers took initiative for the betterment of the lives of women as well as for the betterment of the casteism system in India. When we are talking about the reformers, we already studied about Vidyasagar. Yes, Ishwarchand Vidyasagar, Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Mumtaz Ali and many more. And in that one we studied a lot about the conditions, how they started a campaign, how in the year 1829 with the help of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, British government took initiative and a law was passed in that time in the year 1829 for the ban on sati. Same with the reforms, with the practices of Ishwarchand Vidyasagar, the conditions of the women, especially when we are talking about the widow women, then Ishwarchand Vidyasagar took initiative, and with his efforts we studied that in the year 1856 Widows Remarriage Act passed, and many others boycotted also this thing because they always opposed these new reforms in the society, but not in one state or one region, but it spreads all over in the country. Same when we are talking about the education of the girls, many schools opened on that time, and near about Hindus as well as Muslims also got their education, maybe at home or afterwards in the schools as well as universities also. When we are talking about reformers, then women also took initiative for the betterment of women, and many things happened, many changes took place on that time, which results in front of all of us. Yes, at present we know that everything is in a very fair means, and everything is in a very good condition. So we will start our part 5th of question answer session. Let's hope you recall everything. We are taking our first question here. What social ideas did the following people support? Following people, it means reformers. Okay. First of all, Ram Mohan Roy, Dayanand Saraswati, Veera Salingam Pantulu, Jyotirao Phule, Pandita Ramabai, Periyar, Mumtaz Ali, as well as Ishwarchand Vidyasagar. Yes, these are the names of the reformers who took initiative for the betterment of the society, and the main aim of their ideas we will check out and write in our answer session. Okay, so this one is the answer. These people supported the following ideas. First of all, spread of education among people. Next one is widow remarriage. Yes, in the year 1856 with the help of Ishwarchand Vidyasagar, Widows Remarriage Act was passed. Okay, caste equality and justice. Yes, many of our reformers took initiative for this one. Next point is abolition of child marriage. Yes, after the good education to girls, they needed a main environment, that abolition of child marriage must be done in the society. Okay. Social equality for untouchables. Yes, many times circumstances took place that these untouchables suffered a lot in the society, but our reformers took initiative for the betterment of the social equality of untouchables. Okay, so many conditions were there, but anything is not in the opposition side. Many things are in favor of them. We are taking our next question here. State whether true or false. We are taking our first part here. When the British captured Bengal, they framed many new laws to regulate the rules regarding marriage, regarding adoption, regarding inheritance of property, etc. Is this statement true, students, or false? Yes, we already studied in our chapter reading session that many laws are passed, many things needed to be changed, and the British officials changed all these things. So our answer is true as per our reading session. Okay, we are taking our next B part. Social reformers had to discard the ancient text in order to argue for reform in social practices. See, the main thing here, what's the question wants to say to all of us? See, social reformers had to discard. First of all, we will check out the word from the sentence which gives the indication about true or false. So, social reformers didn't discard any ancient text. They took help of the ancient text, and with the help of the ancient text, they proved their thoughts to the British officials. So, the answer is totally false here. When we are coming to our sixth part, see, reformers got full support from all sections of the people of the country. Is this true, students? नहीं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं, क्योंकि हमने क्या देखा, ईश्वर चंद्र विद्यासागर ने री मैरिज के लिए कोशिश की तो सोसाइटी ने उन्हें बॉयकॉट कर दिया. अदर रिफॉर्मर्स ने बेटरमेंट के लिए कोशिश की, री मैरिज की जिन यूथ्स ने उनको भी बॉयकॉटेड कर दिया गया. सो द आंसर इज टोटली false here. Next we are coming to our D part. The Child Marriage Restraint Act was passed in 1829. Is this true? Answer is true. Okay, we are coming to our next question. Yes, question number 3. How did the knowledge of ancient texts help the reformers promote new laws? Yes, with the help of the proofs of the ancient texts, our reformers took initiative for the betterment of the thoughts. Yes, they interpret their thoughts with the help of the ancient texts. So, we will write that one in our answer here. The reformers tried to convince people that widow burning, caste distinctions, child marriage, etc. had no sanction in ancient texts, and with this one they took initiative for the betterment of the society. Their knowledge of ancient texts gave them immense confidence and moral support, which they utilized in promoting new laws. So, the main aim of utilizing their knowledge in promoting new laws is what? Ancient text. And with that ancient text, they prove their workings, they prove their own work. They did not get feared when people raised voice against the reforms they had brought. So this one is the main thing the reformers did for the betterment of the society, and with their own efforts we get this society at present. Okay, we are coming to our question number 4. Question number 4 indicates the situation. See, what were the different reasons people had for not sending girls to school? Yes, we studied in our chapter reading session that people had their own arguments to not to send girls to school. What were those arguments? We will consider in our answer reading session. Okay. Vidyasagar in Calcutta. Calcutta, now we will call this one Kolkata, okay. And many other reformers in Bombay, now Mumbai. अब हम बॉम्बे को क्या कहते हैं बच्चों? अब हम उसे बॉम्बे नहीं मुंबई कहते हैं. Okay, set up schools for girls. And when we are talking about more schools, when the first schools were opened in the mid 19th century, many people were afraid of them. What type of afraid they have in their mind? Many things they had in their mind. So we will consider that. First of all, they feared that schools would take girls away from home, because they had their own mentality that girls had only the main work of domestic work. Okay, so they had fear in their mind about this one, that girls totally took away from the home. Next one is they would prevent them from doing their domestic duties. Yes, they had their mentality that if the girls, people who had orthodox mind, they thought that if the girls went to school, then what's the main thing? They totally prevent them from doing their domestic duties. Next, we have one important point also. Girls had to travel through public places in order to reach school. This is the main thing they had in their mind. This would have a corrupting influence on them, because many other bad fellows were there in the society who maybe tease them. So they had a fear in their mind. GMS, girls' schools should stay away from public spaces. So many things were there, so they had fear in their mind, but everything had a solution, that if the girls gets the better education of safeguard, yes, own safety is necessary, then everything is possible. Okay, we are taking our question number 5th here. Why were Christian missionaries attacked by many people in the countries? What's the reason behind this one? Would some people have supported them too? If so, for what reason? So we have two questions, so we will interpret this one and we will write our answer here. First of all, you will read with me, and after that you will write all these things in your copies and learn them. Okay. Christian missionaries were attacked in the country by many people because they suspected. What type of suspect they had in their mind, student? See here, they suspected that they were involved in forced conversion and conversion using money power of poor and tribal people from Hinduism to क्रिश्चियनिटी. दो तरह के डर उनके दिमाग में थे बच्चों. पहला तो क्या था कि जो क्रिश्चियन पर्सन्स हैं, मिशनरीज हैं, वो उनके धर्म का ही परिवर्तन करवा देंगे, उनको ट्राइबल पीपल्स को जो है हिंदुइज्म से क्रिश्चियनिटी में डाल देंगे. जो पुअर पीपल है उनको कुछ इकोनॉमिक पावर देकर, कुछ अमाउंट देकर उनका जो धर्म है उसका परिवर्तन करवा देंगे. If some people supported them, that was because this one is our first part. When we are covering our second part, who supported them and what's the reason behind that? See, if some people supported them, that was because they felt this might improve the economic conditions and education of the poor and tribals. So that's the main reason they supported Christian missionaries. And when we are talking about the Christian missionaries, we already studied in our chapter reading session that how they changed the lives of the tribals as well as the poor people. We are taking our question number 6 here. In the British period, what new opportunities opened up for people who came from castes that were regarded as low? See the question here. We are talking about the British period. In that British period, new opportunities opened for whom? For the low caste people. How these opportunities open, we will write in our answer session. Okay. With the expansion of cities, new demands of labor created. When with the help of the persons, many new creativities were going on that time in the British period. What happened? With the expansion of the cities, labor's demands created in that time. What type of labor they needed, students? See, first of all, drains had to be dug, roads laid, buildings constructed and cities cleaned. So many things were there, and for all these things they needed labor. This required coolies, diggers, carriers, bricklayers, sweepers, rickshaw pullers, etc. So many type of works were there. This labor came from where, students? This labor came from people who belong to the low caste. they left their villages and small towns and shifted to the cities to get work. Many reasons were also behind this one, because the upper class people sometimes they tease these lower class. Some went to work in plantations in Assam, Mauritius, Trinidad and Indonesia. So these low caste people, they got the opportunity of labor, and with the expansion of the cities, many opportunities were there to work. Although it was not easy to work in the new locations, poor people saw this as an opportunity to get away from the exploitation. Exploitation by whom, students? Exploitation of the upper caste. upper caste के जो लोग हैं वो इन लो कास्ट पीपल का बहुत ज़्यादा शोषण करते थे, और इसी शोषण से दूर जाने के लिए उन्होंने क्या किया? उन्होंने अपना स्विच ऑफ कर लिया टू नेक्स्ट सिटी और अनदर स्मॉल टाउन. बट इट्स नॉट easy for them to switch off from one place to the another, but they wanted to get away from the exploitation of the upper caste. So this one was the main reason. Okay, we are taking our question 7th here about Jyotirao Phule. How did Jyotirao the reformers justify their criticism of caste inequality in society? We will first talk about Jyotirao Phule and after that his works. Okay, Jyotirao Phule, born in 1827, was the most vocal amongst the low caste leaders. सबसे ज़्यादा अच्छी आवाज़, अच्छी का मतलब है स्ट्रॉन्ग रूप से लो कास्ट लीडर्स के रूप में ज्योतिराव फुले का जन्म हुआ. और उन्होंने क्या किया? उन्होंने अपनी सोसाइटी को रिफॉर्म करने के लिए एज अ रिफॉर्मर बहुत ज़्यादा काम किया था. ही अटैक्ड द ब्राह्मण्स. Why he attacked? He had reason behind it. He attacked the Brahmins' claim of their superiority, because Brahmins always claimed that they are superior. But Jyotirao Phule neglected their concept, and he had his own concept. What type of concept he had? See, Brahmins' claim of their superiority to others. He argued. He had an argument about this one. He argued to Aryans were foreigners who came from outside the subcontinent. So how they themselves proved to be the superior? Because they were the outsiders, they were foreigners who came from subcontinent, other subcontinent. Then how they became superior? They defeated and subjugated the true children of the country and looked at the defeated population as inferior. Jyotirao Phule had a concept that how these Brahmins or upper class, so-called upper class peoples always defeated the true children. Who was the true children? As per Jyotirao Phule, untouchables or low caste peoples were the true children. Okay, so and look at the defeated populations as inferior, and that's why he had a concept in his mind that these were the outsiders, and how they proved themselves to be the upper class who always defeated the low class people or made them inferior concept. Okay, according to Phule, the upper caste had no right to their land and power in reality. He had a concept in his mind, and he proved that these so-called upper caste had no right to their own lands and power in reality, in actuality. Literally, he had a concept in his mind, the land belonged to the so-called low caste. And with the proof, he said that all the lands belong to the so-called low caste, not of the upper caste peoples. Phule opined that there existed a golden age when warrior peasants tilled the land and ruled the Maratha countryside in just and fair ways. With the help of the proofs, with the helps of the evidences, he totally explained his concept about the conditions. Okay, he proposed that the shudras it means laboring caste, and ati shudras it means untouchables should unite to challenge caste discrimination, and that's was the main reason Jyotirao Phule insisted not only shudras but also ati shudras that they became united for this one. The सत्य शोधक समाज एसोसिएशन फाउंडेड बाय फुले प्रोपगेटेड कास्ट इक्वलिटी, और इसी के लिए ज्योतिराव फुले ने क्या किया बच्चों, ज्योतिराव फुले ने सत्य शोधक समाज की स्थापना की, और वो ये चाहते थे कि ये जो फाउंडेशन है, ये जो एसोसिएशन है, ये किसके लिए काम करे, ये कास्ट इक्वलिटी के लिए काम करे. So this one is the main reason and this one is the main concept of Jyotirao Phule. We are coming to our next question. Next question also belongs to Phule. Why did Phule dedicate his book Gulamgiri to the American movement to free slaves? Yes, who had written Gulamgiri, students? Yes, Jyotirao Phule had written this one, and this Gulamgiri was dedicated to whom? To the American movements to free slaves. And what's the reason behind it? Why he dedicated his book? We will see and read in this answer. Jyotirao Phule wrote a book in 1873. He named the book Gulamgiri, मीनिंग स्लेवरी. गुलामगिरी का एक्चुअल मीनिंग क्या है बच्चों? स्लेवरी, दास्ता. ओके, गुलाम होना. Some 10 years before this, the American Civil War had been fought, leading to the end of slavery in America. So the main concept of America in his mind is what, student? About the 10 years before war in the slavery in America, Phule dedicated his book to all those Americans who had fought to free slaves. वहाँ पे जो गुलाम थे, जो दास थे, उनको आज़ाद कराने के लिए जो भी वहाँ पे हुआ, उस कैंपेन के तहत ही उन्होंने क्या किया, उन्होंने अपनी बुक लिखी थी. He did this in order to establish a link between the conditions of the low caste in India and the black slaves in America. और गुलामगिरी में क्या बताया गया है बच्चों? जिस तरह से हमारे इंडिया में लो कास्ट पीपल हैं, उसी तरह से अमेरिका में क्या है, ब्लैक स्लेव्स की कंडीशन हो रही थी. That's why he proved with the help of that and wrote Gulamgiri in the year 1873. We are coming to our last question here. Last question belongs to Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar. Okay, what did Ambedkar want to achieve through the temple entry movement? Yes, 3 times Ambedkar did this temple entry movement, and what's the reason behind it? The main reason that untouchables allowed to freely come in the temples. Okay, we will write with the help of the words in the form of answer here. Ambedkar was born into a Mahar family. In childhood, he experienced various forms of caste prejudices in his everyday life. Yes, due to the belongingness of the Mahar family, he suffered a lot. Ambedkar led 3 such movements for temple entry between 1927 and 1935, and with these 3 temple movements he did a lot about the conditions of the untouchables. His aim was to make everyone see the power of caste prejudices within society. So this one is the main aim of Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar about the temple movement. Students, this chapter is the important chapter. Why this chapter is the important chapter? Because it gives a good knowledge to all of us. It gives a good result to the society. It gives an impact on ourselves and our lives also. So We will consider this as an important, and it's your duty that you will write all these question answers in your copies and learn them. We will meet with our new video. Have a nice day.